So today I'm gonna be posting inside USC Village, which is here where I'm at. This is an area that's open to the public. There is not a gated community. It's not gated, I mean. It's open, I think, 24 hours, depending on how long the stores stay open, I believe. Again, there's a Trader Joe's right there. You know, it's technically like a plaza, in other words. So, I mean, it's a village, I guess, right? USC Village. And again, it's where the students come and, you know, they can have something to eat. They can come and do homework and hang out. Literally a place to mingle, right? Literally a place just for people to talk. Look, if you're walking, I'm walking around, I'm recording, there's no issues. Everybody can record here. It's open to the public. People can have a chat, you know. Nothing wrong with that, right? It's our right to, you know, publicly record, or to record in public, and, you know, to have a chat with someone if you wanted to, right? Because that's exactly what I'm gonna do. The only reason why I'm highlighting that is because when I set up my table for conversations, I have a feeling that security might try to fuck with me. I hope not. Again, as you guys can see, there's a lot going on. People just chilling, you know, kicking it. So I'm gonna post up right there, right in front of the fountain. Hopefully the water is not too much noise. But I mean, it is what it is, right? I'm still debating whether I should post on the side or in the front right here. I mean, maybe I'll post on the side right there. I'm gonna have to move that chair first though. So again, I'm gonna post up in here just to try it out. If for some reason I do get kicked out, I'm gonna go to my usual spot, which is, you know, outside in that direction. But I have a feeling that this might be a little too loud, this fountain. I'm trying to see where would be the best spot to post. One man, what's up? I mean, I like the fountain right there, but fuck it. I'm just gonna post up already. I'll post up right here. Fuck it. Not too close, so it's not too loud, but it is what it is. I'm gonna put it right here while I set up. And see if anybody tells me anything. We'll see. Alright, so I'm pretty much set up already. So this is where I'm going to be at today. This is going to be inside USC Village. Again, this is what it looks like. That's the setup right there. Again, not blocking anyone. Like, there's like, look how wide this space is right here. So you guys can get an idea. And there should be no issues here, you know? So we'll see how it goes. There's a table. Again, the water fountain might be a little noisy. Well, we'll have to work with it for now. Maybe next time I could find a different spot, but this is pretty centric here. It's right in the center. So again, don't mind the background noise. Got the water bottle. Nah, I have it on the wrong side. I usually put it on this side. Again, gotta have the Crocs. All right, I'm all set up now. So, let's check the chat out real quick. See who's joined. What's up, Simon, Natalie, Nachiqueta, Nasi Fripples, Earthship Bear, Rig 5, Pie Eye Piper, what's up? Boomy, what's up? What's up, everyone? How's the audio? Can you guys hear me good? Let me know if the audio is not so clear. Because I have the fountain behind me. I don't know if you guys can see. So let me know if my audio is not good. Maybe I can move a little bit away from the fountain. So audio good? All right, cool. It doesn't seem too windy today, so it should be fine. Forgot to put my mic again. I have to make that a habit to put my mic before starting the live stream, because I think last time I did put it on during the live and I don't think it registered it. I don't think the mic actually connected to the phone. I have to do it prior, I think, to starting the live for it to register. Again, I could be wrong, but... So yeah, let me see. Let me make sure I got everything in order. And everything seems to be in order, right? City, what's up? Let me drink some water. Yeah, for those of you who just joined, usually I post up outside right outside USC Village, right by one of the entrances. There's literally 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 5 entrances to USC Village. So 5 places that people walk in and out. So the usual spot where I post is literally just one spot where students walk in and out. It's the spot that's right next to the school. So it's like, I think, the spot that gets the most foot traffic. But there's definitely a lot of students that walk in and out of the other entrances as well. So I felt like coming in here, you know, I will probably see people that, or people will probably see me that wouldn't normally see me on the other side. So we'll see if we have better luck here, you know. So we'll see if security tries to make this an issue, right? Again, I'm not selling anything. I'm literally just sitting down like everyone else, having a conversation. I might be having a conversation with my phone, but still, hey, it's not illegal to have conversation with AI, right? Even though I'm having a conversation with real people, but people don't know that, right? Even if I was just talking to my phone and just talking to the camera, right? There's nothing wrong with that, you know? Everybody records out here. Everybody's talking to each other. You know, it's an open public area where people can come out and talk to other people. That's what humans do. That's what human interactions are. It's speaking to other humans, you know? So, yeah, a lot of people are looking at the table. They're curious, but see if anybody has the guts, right? So I guess I could get started with the title of the video, how claiming acceleration in free fall defies all the laws of motion, right? Why do I say that? Well, because the laws of motion are three. So we have the three laws of motion, right? The first law is that a force is required when an object is at rest. In order to move the object when it's at rest, you require a force. So in other words, the first law is that you require a force to put an object into motion when it's at rest. That's the first law, you know. Second law is F equals ma, which simply means, in my opinion, the second law should have been the first law, right? Establishing what is a force, right? So I guess we could get started with the second one, I guess, right? What is a force, right? So that's the second law. A force is mass times acceleration, which simply means matter that's in motion. So when you move your hand, again, your hand is matter. When you move your hand, that's a force, right? If there's an object in front of it and you move your hand towards that object, guess what? You're applying a force now because the mass is in motion. So what that does, when there's another mass that's in front of it, you're gonna have a push now. The object that's in motion is gonna push the other object that's not in motion, and it's gonna put it into motion, depending on how much force there is, aka the speed, and how much resistance the object has, how much mass, right? So a force is simply mass or matter that's in motion, right? In my opinion, that should have been the first law, establishing what is a force, right? Because once you understand what is a force, then, in my opinion, the first law, that's where it comes in. Well, you require a force to put an object into motion, right? When an object is at rest, it will remain at rest unless there is a force acting on it, right? Right? In any direction, when you have it on the table, you push anything, you know? So those are the first two laws of motion, right? The third law is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So in other words, matter's always going to react to a force. Always. You know, that's why it's the third law. You know, part of the reason of that is because matter has inertia. So matter wants to remain at rest. Again, it comes back to the first law of motion, where an object at rest will remain at rest unless there's an external force acting on it. Again, they add the second part to that, where an object in motion will stay in motion, but that's just made up. We don't live in a frictionless environment, you know. Matter has inertia. You cannot extract inertia out of matter or remove inertia from matter to be able to make that claim, that positive claim that, you know, an object in motion will always stay in motion. Again, in an empty space where there is zero friction, yes, we don't live in this imagination world that people imagine that it's a frictionless environment. So here we have the laws of motion. That's where the third law comes in. You know, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So because of that, because of inertia, you know, matter's resistance to motion. Motion is action, you know. So every time there's motion, you're going to have displacement. You're going to have resistance that causes the displacement, right? So when people claim acceleration in free fall, not only are you missing the second law, which is force equals ma, again, mass and motion. Why? Because there is nothing that can be measured, a mass that can be measured to push anything down. So again, when you're claiming acceleration in free fall, you have to dismiss the fact that you require mass in motion. Again, you require a force to push on the object that's in free fall to actually make it move. The fact that there is no measurable mass in the downwards flow basically proves that, there is no force there is no mass, that's why gravity is just a theory, right? Not only that, when they claim acceleration, again, acceleration requires a force. When an object is at rest, again, it will remain at rest unless there's a force acting on it. Here's the thing though, when you release an object, it's at rest, there's an apparent motion there. Again, it's an apparent motion because obviously the objects don't accelerate down because there is no force in free fall. Again, so again, it goes back to the first law. Now, not only do they have to dismiss the second law, which is force is mass in motion, they have to dismiss the first law as well, because now they claim that there is no force in free fall. So they're claiming that something that's not a force can cause motion, which is the direct contradiction of the first law, which object at rest will remain at rest unless there's a force acting on it. Again, that's a fact. That's a universal principle of our reality. You cannot move an object or accelerate an object for that matter from being at rest without a force. And that's why, again, gravity is only going to be a theory because it's people's interpretations, it's people's imaginations of what's happening in free fall. Again, based on a visual perception of objects appearing to go down. Again, it's only visual. It doesn't really exist in nature. That downwards movement of the object towards the ground doesn't exist. There is no force. And again, it takes me to the third law of motion. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So when you accelerate an object down, for example, that has liquids and gas, or solids, liquids, and gas, the matter within that vessel that you accelerate is always going to react. For example, let me share this. We have a solid, liquid, and a gas here. Again, we have the liquid, the water, the medium that surrounds the steel ball, which is a solid, and then the ping pong ball represents gas because it has air in it, right? So the air is obviously less dense than the water, and the steel ball is obviously more dense than the water. So every time you apply a force on a container with those three states of matter, the matter will always reorientate relative to the direction of the force, always. So again, part of the third law of motion, for every action there's an equal and an opposite reaction. You accelerate the container, then you're gonna have a reaction of the matter within that container, aka the displacement, the reorientation of matter. Again, this is what happens 100% of the time when you accelerate a container. Again, this will be a simple accelerometer that not only would detect the presence of a force, but it shows you the direction the force is being applied. How? Because when you apply a direction, for example, in this one towards the left, what happens is you create a pressure gradient within the medium that's in the container, and that medium is able to push anything that's less dense, like the ping pong ball, in that same direction. Again, displacing, pushing the less dense matter in the direction that the force is being applied. The more dense objects, again, because of inertia and the water not being dense enough to push it, the steel ball only it stays in its relative position in space. It only appears to move towards the back of the container because it's the container that's moving towards the steel ball, not the steel ball moving towards the container. Again, this is 100% of the time what happens when there is force applied on solids, liquids, and gas. You're always going to have this displacement no matter what. Again, people can try to run away from this fact, but again, it's understanding basic principles is what's going to help you understand your reality, right? So again, when we're talking about acceleration and free fall now that we could prove that acceleration will always cause displacement of matter relative to the direction of the force, when we're looking at matter in free fall, it's not this one. Actually, let's do this one. So with simply just looking at the matter within the container, which one would you say is accelerating? Down, right? The one on the left or the one on the right, right? So based on how matter behaves, obviously the one on the right is being accelerated. Why? Because the ping pong ball and the steel ball, again, because of inertia, are showing displacement. The air is being pushed down in the direction of acceleration along with the ping pong ball and the air that's within the ping pong ball. And not only that, the steel ball is appearing to move up now. Now, there is no force acting on the steel ball moving it up. That's a fact. You know, what happens is, again, the container is moving towards the steel ball, but that motion, that acceleration down, again, it creates a pressure gradient within the water, again, because there's a force acting on the bottle on the right. It creates a pressure gradient down, again, which pushes anything that's less dense in the direction of acceleration, in this case being the air in the ping pong ball. Again, you see the inversion of density and buoyancy, because density and buoyancy are not causes of themselves. Density and buoyancy are effects of a force. You know, again, the one on the left clearly shows that. Density and buoyancy, again, vanish in free fall. There is no displacement. There is no force acting on the water. There's no pressure within the vessel. Therefore, there is no reaction, because there's no acceleration. So people that are claiming acceleration in free fall are literally claiming acceleration without a cause or effect. Literally. They're claiming acceleration without cause and effect, but they want you to believe that that's what's happening. So they want you to believe that even though it looks like it's not accelerating, you have to still believe that it is accelerating, even though the matter within it shows you exactly that it's not. You guys want to give it a shot? Okay, so 2 very easy questions, and they have to do with water. So let's see if you guys can get them. Okay. Very easy, very easy. So in this first one, I have 3 water bottles, and I have them halfway filled with water, and I painted the water blue with food coloring just to make it easier to see. I also put a red ping pong ball in there. So another thing to note is that all of these water bottles are at rest. But how I'm showing you these water bottles, what's the difference between them? Between all 3 water bottles.
Like the way it's laying?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Can you put them in the correct position they should be laying, I guess? You could turn them if you need, if you want.
Wait, are they at rest and the...
Everything's at rest.
Even the external environment?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, you got it. You're overthinking it, but yeah, you got it. How did you know that that's
No, I thought that this was what it was, but I didn't know if it was like...
Oh yeah, of course.
Like if it was like some other trick question.
No, it's not a trick question. It's very easy. So how did you know that this is the correct position, if I may ask?
Because of the balls floating on it.
Right. So because of the density layers, right?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's literally that simple. So again, water can't stick to the top. Water will always seek the lowest point when it's at rest, right? So yeah, pretty simple. So this next one's a little bit easier, and you guys already got one. So yeah. So this next one, I have a box truck, again, halfway filled with water, except in this one, only one of the trucks is at rest. One is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So out of the 3, which one is at rest? B. Do you agree? Yeah? Why would you guys say B?
Because the water's...
It's not reacting, right? It's still, you could say, right? Which one's accelerating forward? A, right? Yeah. Why is that one accelerating forward?
Because all the force is pushing the water backwards.
Right. We could say, well, the force is acting this way, but because of inertia, water wants to remain in its position. Again, it pushes back. Again, it resists the force, right? So again, I can even show that when I accelerate this way, the water always pushes back this way. When I accelerate this, the water always pushes back this way. Even when I accelerate down, the water pushes up, right? So let me ask you this. When I release this into free fall, look at that. Do you guys believe gravity moved it towards the ground?
Gravity moved.
Accelerated this from being at rest. You think gravity moved it to the ground?
Yes.
Yeah? So if I could show you this real quick. I did it in slow motion just to...
But I think I am smarter than a 5th grader.
Oh yeah, you guys definitely are. So when I actually accelerate versus free fall, you can see that because of inertia, the water reacts to a force when I actually accelerate, the one on the right?
Oh.
The one on the left on free fall, there is no force acting on that vessel because there's no reaction of the water. The water's not displacing relative to the direction of the force. I don't know if you guys knew gravity is just a theory. So gravity being a theory means that they never measured a physical downward acceleration. So matter doesn't accelerate down in free fall. So the whole idea of gravity being a point force doesn't exist. So the fact is, the Earth is not pulling you down towards the Earth, it's literally pushing up against it. So that's the force that we feel when we're connected to the Earth.
Oh, I don't believe that at all.
So the Earth is literally moving up, literally. And when you release an object, if the object doesn't move towards the ground, it's the ground that moves up to the object. So there is tests that we can show to prove that.
Oh, I see what this is.
Yeah. Do you just real quick, do you guys know what buoyancy is?
I study aerospace engineering. I think gravity is very real.
So how did you prove that downward acceleration in free fall?
Well, anywhere around Earth is the same acceleration, 9.8 meters per second squared downward.
Exactly.
But on Mars, it's a slightly different constant because it's relative to the mass
Right.
of something.
So did you know that gravity, Einstein's theory of relativity, they actually claim that gravity is not a force?
I don't think that a credible scientist actually believed that that was the case.
Because you heard of the bending and warping of space-time, right?
Yeah.
Einstein's theory of relativity.
Yeah.
So he acknowledges that there is no force acting on objects and people. So what he claims is that gravity accelerates all the matter within the vessel simultaneously. So that's why there's no displacement or effects of a force, but that kind of force cannot be recreated nor demonstrated.
But
And that's why it's
it
just a
was
theory.
disproved by a more recent scientist.
What scientist would that be?
I would have
haven't
to
heard
look
of
up their name, but I remember reading about how Einstein's theory of relativity was actually debunked. Like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right at the end of his life, or right after he passed away.
it. Right, well, it was debunked in reality because, again, it's not objects that accelerate down, it's literally the Earth that moves up. So I guarantee you that whoever made this claim, they probably still claim that objects accelerate down, which defies the laws of motion.
Earth is moving up?
So the Earth is literally pushing up against you. So because your body has inertia, it wants to remain at rest. It resists that.
What happens to people then on the other side of
Well, the Earth is not a globe. I was about to ask you. You guys believe the Earth is a globe, right?
All
All right, no worries. Yeah, how's it going?
This is the tour about you. This photo.
Oh, it's just me speaking to the students. Well, you can go into the public. I see. I just figured because this is an open public area. Again, I'm gonna go outside, but it was just a little weird, I guess, because people can come here and talk. I figured I could do the same and just open to the public, you know? Sure.
So it does require us to have anyone who wants to come and do some cabling and setup to go through the process. I know it's weird, but yeah, anywhere on the outskirts,
Right.
out on the other side of the gate, people on the sidewalk, set up there, they won't bother you.
No, I get that. I just figured, like, you know.
But in the future, if you'd like, try to stick to the property manager and just kind of people to be out here.
Right. Do you guys have like a card or somebody, or is the property manager, I guess, I can be in contact with? Not right now, but for the future.
Are you trying to student?
Not at the moment.
Okay. So my recommendation is go to the USC Center and put in our programs. Then it will give you all the access. You can apply for a permit. And then they'll still review the information of the property. That's like I'm not out. To the future.
You want to thank them right now?
You don't mind giving me
Just a paper now.
sorry, if you're okay with that, I'm okay. I think it's good to do that.
I do this all the time at other universities. I actually go inside UCR, I go to UC Irvine, and I've never had any issues with putting up a table and talking to the students. So this is kind of bizarre to me, especially since this is like literally public for anyone to come in, not only just students. So I figured that if I can go in UCR, UC Irvine, I figured that I could come
Those
here.
are the state schools, which is all public.
Okay.
This is a private university.
Okay, I see.
We don't mean to be difficult with you. And
Is
we just
UCLA
try to abide by UCLA is a public school.
public program? So this is only private one.
It's the only private one out here besides.
Okay, no worries.
And as long as you get this regulated approval, we can set it up. But they have to approve it because it's all, and it all has to do with because of the contracts that we have for
the store. I kind of thought like, yeah, obviously vendors can come in here, obviously for that reason. So I just figured that again, just talking to students wouldn't be an issue. But I guess, how about if I didn't have a table and chair, if I was just standing here, kind of like would that be okay? Or is it just the table that's an issue?
It's really just the table that's an issue, and then recording it. As long as you don't record like the university signs or anything like that, we won't give you those signs.
I mean, recording myself like this is okay, right? I mean, people can post to
As
Snapchat.
long as you're not recording the signs, because then you need to come.
What about, I think tourists are like recording the buildings, architecture, is that not allowed? Or is that not allowed?
For private, yes. If you're going to use it for
No, no, for public. Let's say you post it on your social media, for example. I'm pretty sure a lot of people do that. So I think it's weird that that's not allowed. Because I wanted to take a picture of a store, I don't see that.
You should get the store's approval.
Okay, so,
That's exactly, that's about the same.
and I mean, this is a guy that.
He's the property manager.
Property manager,
He's
so
going to
it's
give you approval to set up anything here.
Okay.
But yes, if you want to put the table away and just walk around and talk to people, as long as you're not.
Like, could I just stand here, I guess, or sit right there without the table and chair? I mean, people are literally sitting down, like two people sitting down there all the time.
And just have conversations with people.
Yeah, really, we're not selling
Yeah,
anything.
you want to do that. You just can't have the setup.
Okay, I appreciate that.
And then just be mindful you gotta get approval for that you're
Well,
taking now.
yeah, well, when people come up to me, that's their consent. So they know I'm recording, obviously. So when people come up to me, that's their consent thing that they're okay with.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch you.
My name's William.
William and Michelle.
Thanks for being cordial, I guess.
Well, I'm the manager here, so if you have any concerns or anything else, feel free to ask one of them.
No,
So I appreciate you being understanding.
I don't want any issues really.
Like I said, we're having a friendly conversation.
All right, appreciate that. All right, man. Take care. All right, what do you guys think? Should I just put the table away and stand up right here, or should I set it up outside? What do you guys think? I wonder if I could bring one of those. Fuck, man, I don't even know if I want to stand here. I gotta completely change my setup. How did I know, man? How did I know, man? I suck. Oh, man. I'm gonna try and call them another day, and just to see what they say, you know, like I can't believe you have to ask for permission, not even just to be here out talking, just because of the table, right? That's crazy. What if I use one of their tables, right? And probably that would be an issue, right? Like, I don't know. All right, I'm gonna set up. I'm gonna put this away real quick before I kill more time. I might go post up outside. I don't know. I mean, this was a good area. I don't know if I just want to stand, you know. I didn't even bring my tripod for that, actually. So I'm going to have to go outside. So. Sucks. You know, here's what happens. Security guards are literally only supposed to observe and report, right? What that means is that they're never supposed to really make contact with someone. Because what their job is supposed to be is report crimes. So that's where observe and report comes in. So when they observe a crime happening, they don't really have the authority, you know, to detain people. And not only that, a lot of job descriptions for security guards say that they're not allowed, you know, to interfere, right? Again, for safety reasons, there's a lot of reasons. But at the end of the day, what will happen is they're going to enforce that rule that they think stands here, and then eventually they're going to call the cops. And who do you think the cops are going to side with? The random guy with the table that's trying to get kicked out, or the security guards, right? Who do you think the police are going to side with, right? The police should side with me because, again, the police are there to protect the public. This is a public area, open to the public, open to the general public. You don't need anything to come in here at the end of the day. So again, at the end of the day, the police are corrupt as well. They just do what they're told, and they're going to side with the security guard. It's happened to me before, and it will happen to me again. And to be honest, I'm not even trying to deal with that. I'm not trying to get arrested. So I'm going to have to comply, right? That's how you know we live in a free country, right? When you get bullied out of places just for speaking to people, right? Just for having a table out with a question, right? I'm not even selling anything, but apparently it's an issue, you know? But yeah, all right, I'm going to finish setting up right here for... So this is the logic. Look, apparently I'm allowed to be here now. So apparently because that was set up, even though it's still standing here on the ground, right? I'm allowed to do this now apparently, but the table cannot be set up. The table can be there, right? And I can talk to people, I can record people, you know, all the check marks, you know, pass, right? My table can be there, I can stand there. That's not illegal, that's not against the rules of Aliso Village, or Aliso Village, USC Village. But again, the fact that the table being set up is a problem should just show that, you know, it doesn't make sense at the end of the day. So yeah, it's pretty bizarre. So I'm gonna go post up outside before I kill any more time. But yeah, look at that, man. This fucking sucks. I almost feel fucking ridiculous having to ask for permission. Like, what the fuck? I'm not a child. This is not private. It's literally open to the public. Anybody can come in here and go to Trader Joe's over there. Anybody can come here and go to the stores, dine in any store they want. Again, they don't have the right to discriminate. You know, it's just bizarre. It's bizarre. Like, again, once they seen that I wasn't selling anything or doing anything, like, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, to be honest, I don't want to be standing. I kind of had a feeling this was gonna happen. Some people might say that I put it out, right? It was me thinking that. Put it out to the universe, right? You see, your thoughts made it happen. Your thoughts got you kicked out because you were already thinking that. Oh, you manifested it with your thoughts. It's like, no, even if I didn't think that, that would have happened. It was all on them at the end of the day. And again, I seen a couple securities drive by and there was no issue. Literally no issue. You know, so kind of weird. I'm gonna have to call that number and be like, hey, is it cool if I set up a conversation table at USC Village, right? Like what the fuck? Like, it's so fucking stupid, man. It's so fucking retarded, man. That just shows the fucking retarded society we fucking live in. That shit doesn't even make sense. Fucking rules don't fucking make sense, but just follow them because it's a fucking rule on a piece of paper, right? Even though it violates your God-given rights, right? Again, they don't have the right to discriminate, you know, people from just speaking. Again, they knew that if I put the table away, they knew it wasn't going to be the same, you know? So it's just bizarre, So, it kind of fucking sucks that I have to restart now. Damn it. Again, I already knew what was going to happen. They were going to call the cops if I refused to leave. Cops would have been there in like 5 minutes. If I refused to leave, they would have arrested me. Again, this happened before. People are fucking ignorant, fucking stupid. Again, nothing personal towards the security guards, but it's just the fucking mentality, you know, that's fucking annoying. Ooh. The mentality is fucking annoying. So, alright, I guess I'll post up in my usual spot out here. You guys already know. It was worth a shot, you know. I wanted to try it out. I wanted to see how people behaved in there. And they're literally going with that this is private school, and again, even though this is literally open to the public, there's 5 different entrances. None of them are gated. I mean, this one does have a gate, but the other ones don't have gates. So, yeah, bizarre. All right, I'm gonna set up real quick. Son of a gun. Setting up for the second time now. Fuck. there. Pretty much set up already, but damn, man. Pretty bizarre, man. Pretty bizarre. All right, round 2, man. Yeah, fucking sucks, man. It's a little depressing, you know, like in a way, you know, but it is what it is. Can't really let it get to me. Again, there's still a lot of students that walk through here, but a lot of them do miss it. I'm gonna have to like reel people in, you know, because a lot of people do they look curious. Maybe I maybe I just need to invite them, you know, over to the table, huh? Am I too late or do you? Nah, I got kicked out from inside. I went inside USC Village. I guess you guys can see right there right there, bam, USC Village right there. So again, it's open to the general public, and you guys seen where I was posted. It was literally not blocking anything. Literally people sitting right next to where I'm sitting. Like, you know, apparently just having the table out with the question was the issue. Literally, like that's not allowed. You can't have a table out with a question even though you're sitting at it. Like, kind of bizarre, you know. I think if I was just sitting there with like a smaller table, for example, without a question, I think it was the question kind of. Because if you bring your own table, I don't think that could be an issue. It's like bringing your own chair and sitting there. I don't think that's an issue. Like if you had a lawn chair or like one of those, and you just brought it and sat there for some reason, I don't think you'll get kicked out for that, right? I wonder if I had like something that I bought, like a juice or something from the store, right? I wonder if they would still kick me out, right? You know? But at that point, it's like you shouldn't have to buy something to be there. That's not a requirement. It's open to the public if people just want to go in there and hang out. That's what a lot of people do. I was doing the same thing and bam. Again, they just find, again, if I was to come with a tripod, they'll make the tripod an issue too. That's what happened at Victoria Gardens. I didn't have the table. You know, I brought a tripod to record myself while I'm talking to people because I had my chest cam as well. And I still got kicked out for the tripod. Like, what? Like, I almost want to test it out next time. Come here with the tripod and see what they tell me. I guarantee you they're going to tell me the same thing probably. Oh, you can't have a tripod in here. It's like, what? What? It's like, that wouldn't make any fucking sense. Like, what? So you mean like somebody standing with their phone? It's no different. It's like you're putting your phone on a stand. It's like somebody holding it. You know, it's like, fuck, man. Again, it's just about bullying. You know, it's all about just controlling anybody stepping out of line. It's about keeping people in line. That's what people need to realize, that all of these pointless rules and laws and, you know, policies, right? They're all there just to keep people in line. At the end of the day, they don't have any real purpose. You know, usually policies and laws and all that, they're there to enforce human rights and to enforce the safety of others, right? That's usually why policies are enforced and even laws are created, is to protect people's rights, not violate them. It's to protect people's rights. That's why we have laws. So the fact that they're using these laws, not even laws, policies, to violate our rights, right? Again, I understand if it was private, you know, it was closed and you needed some kind of, you know, identification to go in, right? Or something along those lines. Or it was a private event, right? That they rented it out or something. Point being is that, yeah, just because it's privately owned, that doesn't mean shit. If it's open to the general public, it's publicly accessible. Meaning anybody from the general public can go in there, can stand, can talk, can record. Again, recording public areas is our right. You know, it's so bizarre. Like, oh, they have the right to record us. They have cameras all over there in the stores, and, you know, I'm pretty sure outside of the stores too. They don't have to ask us for permission, right? Why? Because it's a public fucking area, you know? It's fucking annoying. It's fucking annoying that I don't have to deal with this bullshit, you know, but it is what it is. I've ranted long enough about that. At this point, my hopes are pretty much crushed from actually going inside the university at this point. I mean, if I got kicked out of the village. You guys want to give this a shot?
Yeah.
5 minutes, really quick. All right, yeah, let me get these out. Oh, shoot, I'm ready. How many are you? 3? Yeah, you guys could do it together. Pretty easy.
I mean, this is me, but
Oh, okay, cool.
You guys want to run it together? Or
Yeah, you guys can run it together, yeah.
It's up to you guys.
Yeah, you guys can run it together. It's pretty easy, you guys will get it. So they have to do with water, both questions. So in this one, I have 3 water bottles, and I have them halfway filled with water, and I painted the water blue with food coloring just to make it easier to see, and they're all at rest, by the way. How I'm showing you the water bottles, however, what's the difference between them?
Yeah.
The orientation? Yeah, you got it. Can you put them in the correct orientation?
In which?
In they should,
orientation?
yeah, they should be in the correct orientation. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Sick.
Yeah, you guys all agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got it. How did you guys know? Pretty easy, right?
Just the way the
Gravity.
ball's floating, yeah.
Gravity, and you could say the density layers, right? The dense,
More buoyant.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Buoyant goes up, dense goes down, right? And that tells you up and down. So exactly, you guys got it. Pretty easy, right? So one more. This one's a little bit easier. So this one I have a box truck, again, halfway filled with water, except in this one of the box trucks is at rest. One is accelerating forward and one is accelerating in reverse. Which one is at rest? B. Okay, why is B at rest?
It's flat.
Well, because the water's still, again,
Yeah, water's
level,
still, it's not moving.
exactly, it's not reacting.
Yeah.
Which one's accelerating forward? A. Why is A accelerating forward?
Because when it's accelerating, the water would be moving backwards. It's going to stay behind.
Exactly, because of inertia.
Yeah, exactly.
Matter wants to remain in its position. So exactly. So that's what happens 100% of the time when I accelerate a bottle with water. The water will always react. Even when I accelerate down, the water wants to push up. Again, there's a reaction of water when there's a force. So let me ask you guys this: when I have this at rest and I release it into free fall, do you guys believe gravity accelerated down towards the Earth?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So I actually did a free fall test in slow motion just to show the difference when I actually accelerate versus free fall. The water obviously shows that there's a force present because it reacts because of inertia. In free fall, there is no reaction because there's no force. I don't know if you guys knew gravity is just a theory. And the reason why gravity is just a theory is because of a physical measurement of downward acceleration has never been proven or measured. So what's happening is, I know everybody believes gravity is a pulling force that accelerates objects down towards the ground. The fact is that gravity doesn't pull, the Earth's gravity doesn't pull you down. It's actually the Earth pushing up against you. So right now, the reason why you're stuck to the Earth is because the Earth is pushing up against you. You're not being pulled down towards the Earth.
Technically, we're being pushed towards each other. I just dove out of a plane.
Well, because of inertia, your body wants to remain in its position. That's the pushback. So the force is up, and inertia is the pushback. So that's the resistance to motion, which gives you your weight in orientation.
So then, how would you explain? I just went skydiving this weekend.
Right.
Fell out of a plane. I felt gravity. It's pretty fucking strong. We accelerated from being still to 120 miles an hour at our peak. It was measured. And
Have you guys heard of zero-G plane flights?
Mm-hmm.
Those are parabolic flights that are in free fall. So it's like you're skydiving. In other words, what happens is you're literally just floating within the free falling airplane. That's why it's called zero-G, because there's zero force acting on you. And I don't know if you guys knew. Again, gravity is just theory because again, force in free fall doesn't exist.
So you're saying whenever you're in free fall, you're at 0 G's.
You're at 0 G's, exactly. There's no forces acting on you. So what happening, and again, if you're claiming acceleration, you require a force. That's a fact. That's the first law of motion. An object at rest will remain at rest unless there's a force acting on it. So again, this is at rest right now. If I release it, they're claiming that gravity. Actually, they actually think gravity is not a force.
So although he was facing some sort of velocity, he wasn't undergoing any sort of
what's
acceleration.
No, it's a deceleration he's going through. So what you witness is not an acceleration; it's a deceleration.
It was measured from moving.
Well,
it was technically a parabolic curve where we were going like forward 70 miles an hour, and so we were falling forward 70 miles an hour. But also, I went from 0 in terms of like how fast we were going down to 120 miles an hour going down.
I see.
It was definitely not.
Let me just. Have you guys heard of an accelerometer?
Acceleration.
So your phone, everybody's cell phone has an
Constant
accelerometer.
Acceleration.
Yeah.
It's not like.
So when you turn your phone, obviously
Not
it
a
reorientates, right? Because there's a force acting on it when I'm holding it. There's an accelerometer in everybody's phone. So you could download an acceleration app, and what that does is it registers G-force. So when you accelerate this way, up, down, any direction you actually accelerate the phone, it detects acceleration. When you put it into free fall, however, guess how many it detects? 0. Exactly. So accelerometers don't detect acceleration.
What's the
So the fact is, the Earth is literally not a ball. Because if the Earth was a ball, you guys believe the Earth is a ball, right?
That's because your phone's already feeling that same force downward at all times.
Yeah, but it's
When you
actually
let
up.
go.
The force is up. So we're pushing up against the phone. The phone's not being pushed down towards us.
Both are true.
Well, again, because of inertia, not because there's a force of free
But
fall.
like, if you're okay,
We're
if
only
the
pushing
argument,
up at the same rate at which the phone is currently falling.
if the
based on
argument is a
gravity.
push-up, though, doesn't that mean the Earth's expanding all the time?
Exactly. That's impossible on a globe Earth. That's why in order for people to believe the Earth is a ball, they have to first believe in this downwards acceleration, which doesn't exist. And now flat earthers, because that's a psyop as well, they're claiming the Earth is motionless. What does that mean? They're claiming a downwards acceleration as well. So that's the false dichotomy. That's how they're keeping this whole idea of the globe Earth alive by keeping this whole idea of like object accelerating down in free fall alive.
Yeah.
So let me. You guys know what buoyancy is, right? This is how we prove the Earth
I'm
is
gonna
pushing
go
up.
ahead and run.
Here, take this. It's my channel. You may see yourself later.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So real quick before you guys go, I know you guys gotta go. Buoyancy. You guys know what buoyancy is, right? What is buoyancy?
It's the ability to displacement of water.
And then less dense objects get pushed up, right? So I recreated buoyancy in a container here. So I have an apple obviously hanging and a helium balloon also with a string. So when I accelerate it to the right, what happens is I created a pressure gradient within the air. And because the air is also being pushed by the van, when I accelerate it, it's being, dragged, it's able to push anything that's less dense in that same direction. So that's what buoyancy is. The air is pushing the helium in the direction the force is being applied, but it cannot push the apple because the apple is too dense. So the air can only push things that are less dense in the direction that the force is being applied, and anything else that's more dense, it just gets left behind. So when you release something that's more dense in the air, and the helium balloon here on Earth is the same principles. It's the Earth that's pushing up, that's creating that pressure gradient, that's pushing up the helium through the air, but the air is not dense enough to keep this, so it just loses momentum. So everything's moving up right now, and when you release it, it just decelerates. So the Earth just catches up again, because we're all moving at a constant speed when you're connected to the Earth.
Like through space.
Through space, exactly. So nobody knows what's outside of the Earth, though. That's another thing. So this whole idea of space and space balls existing in a vacuum, that's all made up. Nobody's been outside of the Earth to actually know what's actually outside.
Like no one's left the Earth's atmosphere.
So the Earth, again, the second law of thermodynamics, in order to maintain two opposing pressure systems, you need a solid barrier maintaining it. So they claim outer space is an open system next to the Earth's pressure without a solid barrier that defies physics. So the Earth is a container somehow. It's being contained, the air,
And I'm
by a
assuming
physical.
we believe
Yeah,
this
by
is
the-
the firmament.
Yes, we have flat earthers coming muddying the waters with domes, and I don't know what that looks like. So I don't make claims to know what that is.
So,
a container. It
I
could be
guess
different.
what's your premise here? That
My-
the Earth isn't round, but it's not flat.
It's level, and it's level because it's in motion. Because level is an orientation. In order for something to have orientation, you require a force, you require a motion. So the Earth is pushing up against you, and the flat Earth is, again, over 95% of flat Earth content creators and believers, they all believe the Earth is motionless. That's the psyop. That's how easy it is to debunk the globe. The fact that, again, if the Earth was a globe and up is relative on a ball, right? How can the Earth be moving up? Like you said, it has to be expanding. That wouldn't work. That would mean you have to expand it to infinity, to compensate for the Earth moving up this object in free fall. But again,
It could still be moving throughout the universe as there is still energy contained.
but if up is relative on a ball, if you're standing here, right, and you're standing here, and you're standing here, and you're standing here, how can the Earth be moving up for everybody at the same time if everybody dropped an object?
Because the density of the Earth and the gravity with it.
But that's the thing,
outweighs center of mass.
that force, that gravity. Well, here's what happened. People believe there's a gravitational field that's a force field, right? People believe there's a force field. The fact is there's a static field. That static field gives you inertia. So they just flip
When you
it.
say the fact is,
That's the fact, yeah. Because let me again, just another one real quick, similar to this one. Based on the principles that I just shared with you guys, what direction would you guys say this is accelerating? To the right or to the left? So it's a ping pong ball and a steel ball.
That's the steel ball, then would be accelerating that way.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
but all
the
that
steel ball only
proves
appears
is-
to go this way, but it's the container that moved towards the steel ball.
yeah, but all that proves is the ping pong ball is less dense than water.
But it's
and
only a
steel
factor
balls
when
are
there's a
more
force
dense than
acting
water.
on it. So the ping pong ball only has a direction to move in the water when there's a force acting on the water, and that force is up. When
Yeah, and there's a constant force acting on us, which is gravity, which is being
that's
pulled
inertia.
at
That's the
all
resistance.
times.
That's the resistance to the force.
So you think that every other planet?
Well, that's all made up.
solar
Whatever's else,
system,
that's all just stories for just Disney for adults.
we can see this.
Yeah, I agree. We see a light in the sky, but it's not what we're being told. Nobody's actually been higher than like 25 miles in the sky.
So
Only NASA claims to do that with CGI. So it's all made up. So the reason why I showed you guys this is because this
Yeah.
is Here, let me show you this before you go, because I think this one's huge. Again, the one on the left shows the displacement when I accelerate, right? The ping pong ball gets pushed down in the direction I accelerated, but the one on the right is free fall. There's no reaction. And even the steel ball moves up, but we know the steel ball didn't move up because I moved down towards the steel ball.
Oh, yeah, this is no reaction because they're all moving at the same.
So that kind of acceleration that they're claiming with no cause or effects, that acceleration cannot be recreated.
Why is this?
Causes mass.
So that
Tracks other mass.
So the explanation from a globe Earth is that gravity grabs all the matter within it and accelerates it together, right?
So how do you explain the sun?
Well, the sun is irrelevant. I don't know what the sun is, but it's irrelevant when we're talking about the dimensions
gas.
of the Earth. Well, that's what you were told.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
How do you prove that?
I mean,
You just have to believe it. Again, the heliocentric model
You don't.
is just a model. It's just a religion. People just have to believe in it.
So
There's no physics to back it up.
Your argument here is that we don't know anything.
What's outside of the Earth, but we
don't
can
know
test
anything.
things inside. We
Okay.
can prove to
right,
ourselves.
so I just tested myself and jumped out of a plane and I accelerated.
I would say
measured.
you decelerated because if you
So,
if you were to
I went
attach it,
from a certain speed,
Sure.
right, to a faster speed in a parabolic
did you?
way.
So that acceleration did exist.
Therefore, I would define that as acceleration, and I would define deceleration as when my parachute got brought out and I decelerated, as in I moved slower.
Sure, I would say you slowed down your deceleration rate for sure with
right?
the parachute. You
But
slowed down
the
your
force of
deceleration.
gravity was pulling me the exact same.
That's inertia. Your body wants to remain motionless. So again,
Right,
they're
your body
claiming
wants to-
inertia. They're claiming
Sure.
inertia as gravity, but if
No,
gravity
no,
was
no.
a force,
Your body wants to remain motionless
Exactly.
until it is pulled by gravity, and until I start hurtling towards the ground.
so if we were all in motion up
Faster
already,
rate of
if everything was in
9.8
motion right
meters
now,
per second.
your body wants to remain motionless, meaning it wants to remain completely motionless. So if we're all moving up right now and you release an object, it's going to have to decelerate from that constant
We're
motion.
not moving up.
Well, buoyancy will show otherwise. An air bubble cannot get pushed by itself. An air bubble requires the medium that surrounds it to
So-
also push it, and the medium that surrounds it can't push itself
Let me
either.
explain that to you.
Yeah,
If there's an air bubble that is
Yeah.
less dense than the water here,
yeah.
and because of that, the water that is being pulled by gravity is going to displace that air bubble, which is going to push it up.
Right.
The air bubble is not innately moving up. It's because it is more
dense.
buoyant and less dense than the water.
Let me just show you that. The air bubble here on the right is free fall. Look what happens to the air bubble. It's being pushed up when I'm holding it, and as soon as I release it into free fall, it just freezes. There's no upward motion.
Because it's being pulled at the exact same rate downwards.
Yeah, that kind of acceleration doesn't exist. So to claim that you can accelerate a water bottle with an air bubble and the air bubble does not displace, that defies physics. The air bubble will always displace. Let me show you this.
All objects fall at the same rate.
So here, I have an air bubble in a water bottle. Can you tell what direction I move the bottle?
You don't have to move it.
Like
I had to move it to move the bubble.
that because it's on its side.
Oh,
Yeah, it's laying down on
inside.
it. So did I move it up
Oh.
or down relative to the bottle?
You moved it that way.
You think I moved it down?
I moved that way.
Yeah, I moved it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, I created a pressure
Yeah.
gradient
So
in the water.
If you're
and the-
moving that way, the water, which is
also
more
moving,
dense,
but the water's also moving in that direction through space, right? And that's why it's able to push the air. So when the air bubble is rising through water, guess what? The water's also moving in that direction in space, but it doesn't appear that way because we're also moving with it. So it appears to be motionless, but it's actually because everything's moving. And as soon as this is into free fall, that air bubble's motion up vanishes because it's no longer being pushed up by the Earth. So buoyancy is an effect of the Earth's push. Pulling forces don't exist. That's why gravity is just a theory. It's the biggest lie on Earth, literally. And even flat earthers believe that too. So again, I'm literally a minority within the minority. I'm like the real deal. You're not gonna come across someone like me. I maybe not in the next few years for sure. This is super censored, right? Super
So-
censored.
Why is it? Do you think? Like,
Yeah.
what is the narrative leading every single scientific
Yes.
body and person in
That's a good question.
within the past,
So it all comes back.
3 centuries or so?
Yeah, it all comes back to controlling humans. So if they could, it's not about the shape of the Earth or whether the Earth is pushing up or not. It's about if they could get you to believe something that's obviously not true, then that means you've been handicapped mentally in a way. You're going to be easily controlled now because you would rather throw your common sense away in favor of explanations and authority. So that just shows that you're going to just believe what you're told, you know. So it's kind of like a cheap shot on our common sense to control us. So that's
I've
what it's
seen
about.
myself like Saturn on a telescope.
Okay,
So do you think that's like a digital projection?
No, it's just the light. I don't know what it is. I don't make claims to know what the stars are. Anybody that does is to me is just lying.
No, but I've seen it. It looks exactly.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
the photos.
I probably see what you see too, but to make up stories about what that is now, based on just vision alone, to me is ridiculous. You know, that's what NASA does.
Yeah, but I'm making a story up based on what I've perceived with my own eyes, which is, in my opinion, as you're claiming, the most, trustworthy sources, your own experiences.
Well, it's how matter behaves. That's what matter shows me, basically. So another thing is water always lays level when contained and at rest. So if you go to a giant lake, the water is always going to be a perfectly horizontal surface. But the globe Earth, they try to tell us that there's curvature. They tell us the radius is 3,959 miles. And using a simple calculation like this, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, we can calculate for that curvature. And in 10 miles, there should be 66 feet of curvature. So if we went out to a giant lake, for example, to physically measure for this curvature, they're trying to tell us that surface of that lake is bending.
So do you want to see the photo of me skydiving and the actual curvature that my camera perceived?
Did you have an action
while I was up
camera by
there?
any chance?
Sorry?
Did you have an action camera like this? Because the only place you're ever going to see curvature of the Earth, in my opinion, is through CGI images like this. These are official NASA images. Or through GoPro lenses like this.
So,
Here, you guys can give us a read.
so if the Earth is round, then how does
How does the universe work?
and revolving
Here, you can take
every
this.
other flat Earth?
You can
that
see the
tries
curvature.
Let me see. I would just say that's just the horizon, man. Again.
Yeah, which is curving.
Okay, let me give you that. Let's say you could see the curvature there. If you could see it, should you be able to physically measure it? First, should you be able to physically measure it like this? You should be able to physically measure it. Well, this is what reality is going to show. This is reality. This is what water.
There have been
means.
so many experiments done with light projection, and there was a flat earther even that was
laser experiments.
Yeah,
Those are all faulty. Those are all being pushed on purpose. A physical measurement like this is what's going to debunk the globe. Not only that, the fact that there is no physical downward acceleration in free fall, that debunks the globe because they require that belief. Without that belief, if this is the Earth pushing up against you, that wouldn't work from a globe.
So
that means it
you
explodes.
think it's the Earth is pushing up against us?
Yes.
So then why do we accelerate when we're moving down?
You decelerate. You lose momentum. So that's what happens.
What does that mean?
So let's say if the Earth is moving up right now at 100 miles an hour, right? If I release this, it starts to lose that 100 miles an hour. It's not going to stay 100 miles an hour when there's nothing pushing up against it. So it starts to lose momentum, goes to 98, 97, 96. So when it starts to lose momentum, it only appears to go down because the Earth is still at a constant.
Right. So that's
So
where
the
you're
Earth catches up
wrong,
to it.
and because I was measured today, or sorry,
If
Saturday,
you were to attach
from moving 0 miles an hour to 120.
His argument is that it's from measuring from a different.
Yeah, if you put an accelerometer when you skydive, that accelerometer is going to register 0 acceleration. It's going to measure a deceleration. It's going to go from 1G to 0G as soon as you release it. It's a deceleration. Even phones, accelerometer, a radar gun, police radar guns that can detect speed, they don't detect any acceleration down in free fall. Why not? That's weird, right?
Is it also free falling?
No, you could an object in free fall with a radar gun point at it, it's not going to register any speed. Like a police radar gun as well.
Well, that's
Claiming
what
when
you're
you
saying.
fall,
If you're falling
you
at free fall with it.
No, you could be on the floor pointing at it at a free falling object, and it will not register acceleration down. The speedometer.
Well, it registers velocity.
No, it doesn't. Well, a velocity can be either a deceleration or an acceleration.
Well,
There-
yeah. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It registers speed and velocity, not acceleration.
Yeah.
That's what a speedometer is.
But at the end of the day, speedometers don't register anything in free fall. That's the point.
well-
So you're saying if an object if it's moving this way, the speedometer will clock it.
Yeah, but if it's moving down this way,
And it won't. So what if it's where does that stop? So
Well, that's the thing,
if it's at an angle, does it only measure a half?
well, if it falls on an angle, you need a force to make it go in that angle because there is
it
no
not
force
the
in free fall.
same deceleration force you're talking about?
Well, in free fall, if you just simply release an object, there's no
gonna
force
go
acting
full
on it.
straight.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're decelerating. That's the fact. And that's why there's no displacement of matter.
What properties of a this is off topic.
Yeah,
What
sure.
properties of the radar gun is going to make it not clock it? Is it just the fact that you're in free fall?
I think it's just the fact that there's no acceleration. That's simple. I honestly don't know exactly how the radar gun works. I know how accelerometers work. Accelerometers work on the principles of displacement. So
Yeah.
there's loose parts inside the accelerometer. When you accelerate that accelerometer, those loose parts move relative to the direction you move the phone, and that tells you the direction of the force as well. Because there's loose parts in there. It's like little arms that are loose, and then when you accelerate, those arms displace. So again, same thing with water. Water always displaces relative to the direction of the force. So this is a simple accelerometer, a water bottle with air and water. So again, if you know that the water always pushes back in the opposite direction that the force is moving back, what direction is the water pushing right now? the water's pushing down this way because the bottle's moving up that way. That's what physics shows. And the air bubbles also show that.
The water is pushing down and the earth is pushing up.
The earth is pushing up and water, because of inertia, is pushing back. Again, just like when I accelerate a bottle this way, the water doesn't go in that way, it goes this way, in the opposite direction the bottle moves. So when it's just simply at rest, the water's going this way, which is the opposite direction the bottle's moving, which is up.
So you mentioned
That's
the
just
argument
like
for the
completely discounting the fact that mass attracts though.
Yeah, that's how it made up.
You just
Mass
don't
attracting
think
mass.
that all
Yeah.
of mass
So that's why
attracts.
Einstein came up with his theory of relativity, because it debunked Newton's mass attracting mass. That's where the bending and warping of space-time they claim is a force now, even though it's not a force. They claim it's a force that acts like a force, but it's not a force. So that's their mind-bending explanation.
So you think it acts like a force though?
That's what they say, but they have to say that because
What
like
do you think?
objects don't go down; it's the Earth moving up. That's
Yeah, you mentioned. I mean, are you a flat earther? Or
no,
are you just
hell
here
no.
to-
No,
You're
flat
just-
earthers are
it's
fucking
just
dumb
an
too.
argument. You're just here to stir the
So
pot.
no. I'm here to represent the fact that the Earth is level. So the Earth is a level plane because it has orientation. No.
So if it's a
What
level
do you
plane,
mean?
how is it not flat?
Yeah,
Okay, so this could be flat, right? But it's not level, right? This is level.
and flat.
But you could have mountains and valleys. Flat. The definition of flat is a surface with no bumps or indentations. The Earth has
Yeah, but you
mountains and
understand
valleys.
relatively the size of the Earth versus the tallest mountain on the Earth. The surface of the Earth, if you move your hand along it, if you're like a giant space person, would actually feel smoother than a cue ball
Yeah.
on a pool table.
At the end of the day,
So it's flat.
It's level
in
because
your
it's in
theory.
motion. That's why. So level is an orientation. Would you agree or disagree?
So your
Level is
level
perpendicular
Earth
to the
theory?
vertical. You could say level Earth, but I don't go by terms. I'm just a guy that realized this lie. That's it. So this whole flat Earth topic, it's just propaganda to turn people off to this topic. Again, flat Earthers are physics deniers as well. They claim acceleration and free fall just like the globe Earth, but they claim it's not gravity. They claim it's electrostatics. Even though electrostatics is in the name, it's static. In my opinion, there's a static field, not a force field. So that static field gives us our inertia. So again, you need a reason why objects move and a reason why objects stop.
Okay, so Earth is
Good luck
alright,
on
so
your
the Earth is
studies.
level.
Right here, let me give you guys my channel. You guys can check it out. You guys can see yourself maybe in the future.
So
Yeah.
it's not in a globe shape. Then,
No, the Earth is a level extended plane, and it's being contained by some kind of physical barrier. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, so the air is not escaping. So the air has pressure here, 14.7 psi. Yeah. In order to maintain air pressure, you need a solid barrier to basically so the air doesn't spread. Well, gravity is, they have to, that's a belief in the downwards force. But even that doesn't explain why the air would dissipate, So you're saying gravity is stronger than the vacuum of space, basically. Well, that's how it's able to maintain it, right? Because, again, you have to believe in this downwards flow first to be able to believe in gravity. If you could debunk that there's no downwards acceleration, the globe Earth is dead. Yeah. Yeah, that's just an explanation. But for somebody to actually demonstrate gas pressure being maintained by gravity here on Earth, they would just say that the Earth gets in the way. So that's special pleading. That's what that is. Special pleading for magical circumstances that we can replicate here on Earth. So in order to have a vacuum, for example, and then a pressure system next to each other, we need two containers to separate. The instant you put those two containers in one, guess what's going to happen? Equilibrium. The air is going to rush into the empty space to rush, because nature abhors a vacuum, right? And again, you need solid barrier. That's a requirement. That's the second law of thermodynamics. So their claim defies these laws. That just like the claim of gravity defines the laws of motion and free fall. Because for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's the third law of motion, right? Well, again, yeah.
Yeah, so also like asteroids and everything, they just move because of work.
Everything outside of the Earth is all made up. So I agree. We see lights in the sky, we call stars. We see the sun, that we call the sun, and we see the moon. I agree. We can see all of those things. What they're telling us they are, the distances, the size, all of that is all made up. It's all to reinforce the belief that the Earth is a globe. Because physics here on Earth easily debunks that claim. Again, by the
Okay,
fact
but
that
what's the point? What's the point of keeping? What's the point?
Well,
of
the
telling
point-
this huge lie?
okay, the
Like,
point
What,
of-
what would
yeah.
be the point in
Yeah.
maintaining this philosophy? What's
Yeah.
the game? What's the
Yeah, I'll
message?
tell you. It's literally very simple. It's about control. So again, it's not about the shape of the Earth because that's kind of irrelevant. It's about if they could get you to believe something that it's not, then that's how they're able to control you because now you don't trust your common sense. You rather trust authority. So if you trust authority over your common sense, you're going to be more easily controlled. And that's what it's about. It's about control. And the ball Earth lie is just a cheap shot on our common sense. So again, it's not so much about the shape of the earth, it's about control. And they do it by controlling your mind, and that's how they control your actions. By making you believe something you're not, by making you believe you're somewhere you're not.
Okay.
You know? So again, the earth is a creation. Again, I'm not religious at all. I think all religions are made to control people. And the heliocentric model is the biggest religion on earth. Because again, everybody believes that. Everybody believes the earth is a globe. Everybody believes, majority of people believe in evolution, for example. So again, it's just a religion. Nobody knows how this place came to be and how it works
But
exactly.
is there a handoff from generation to generation to keep this conspiracy alive?
Oh yeah.
and keep
Oh
it-
hell yeah.
But like,
Oh, yeah.
what's the point in that? There's going to be this global subscription
Well,
between across different countries, across different nations, against allies and
The
enemies.
education system, the UN, the government's all working together.
But there's a bunch of countries that aren't subscribed to the UN. That's
How do we look at those countries? We look at them as the bad guys. You know, Cuba, North Korea, all the countries that are not involved in our system, they paint a picture that they're the bad guys, right? So again,
they still believe in the heliocentric theory, do they?
sure,
not?
sure, maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. I don't live in those
I guess we
countries.
wouldn't know.
We
Yeah.
wouldn't know exactly.
But yeah, I mean, even so, I don't know. I think it's way too complicated to want to. I think it's if it is in fact that the world is like
Level. Yeah.
If that is indeed a fact, which you're providing a compelling argument. I'm not fully bought in yet.
No, I
but
don't
it's
expect you to convince you,
Yeah,
obviously.
but it's a compelling argument. What I will say though, it's like it doesn't make sense for it to be this sort of generational like plot to keep people under control. Like I think your argument for religion is a lot more compelling than that. I think any other systems of power.
But religions are there to control as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's your argument for a religion would be more compelling than a heliocentric theory. I think there's many more systems in place that are a lot easier to keep intact.
You don't think the heliocentric theory is a religion?
I don't think it's.
Yeah, everything about outer space is a lie.
I mean, like, if you went to space, would you be convinced?
If I did, yeah, but that's not gonna happen.
No, I get that. I get
Yeah,
that.
but yeah, sure, I'll be convinced if you could show me the globe from outer space and I see
If
it.
your
Yeah.
friend, like, a trusted friend.
Oh no, it has to be me. Friends could be bought out. You know, all astronauts are bought out to say that they see a globe when they're out in the
I
sea.
mean, you
So,
could say that, but they could be a conspiracy.
Yeah.
I get that.
So you basically think all the research that we're doing right now to get out to other planets is a hoax? It's just never gonna happen.
Yes. What do you think they keep pushing back these
dates.
yeah, they're gonna push it back another 50 years and they're gonna push it back another 20 years, and that's always gonna happen because it doesn't exist. It's just to keep this narrative going. Eventually the technology will get to a point where they'll be able to fake it using green screens and blue screens, and they'll probably fake going to Mars, but it's gonna be a movie. They're not really gonna go nowhere. That's what they did with the moon landing. They didn't really go to the moon. They filmed it here. That's what they're gonna do with Mars too eventually, once technology catches up a bit.
How are you so convinced that the moon landing was fake?
Oh, not only does the fact that, again, empty space between two bodies in outer space without solid barrier, it defies physics, but also the videos are a joke. You know, I don't know if you guys seen the moon landing videos. It's like so bad, so bad. You see wires hanging from the astronauts when they're walking on the moon, supposedly. You see the reflection of wires. All the pictures don't add up from the light source on the sun being. At the end of the day, all of that defies physics because, again, water cannot bend. Again, they're trying to tell us that water bends here on Earth, but when you go to a lake, it doesn't matter the size of the lake. The water's always level, always horizontal. It's always perpendicular to the vertical, always. And all verticals, another thing, all plumb lines are all parallel to each other, regardless of the distance. So that's part of construction. I don't know if you guys knew that. So when we lay out construction, railroads, bridges, all plumb lines are considered parallel, which on a globe, plumb lines wouldn't be parallel because plumb lines are lines going down to the center, which are not parallel. They're coming together. Yeah, in reality, plumbs, vertical lines are all parallel. Everybody's up is the same.
Do you think it's secure?
No. So I don't know what the Earth is as a whole. All I know is that the surface we live on is a level. So it has mountains, valleys, but it's a level overall. What it is as a whole, what's underneath, what it looks like, I don't know. I just know that it's level and it's literally pushing up. You know. Again, that's what reality shows me. That's what water and air show me, that the force is up. You know, I don't go with what people tell me, especially when they just have theories, nothing practical to show me, because humans lie. Reality doesn't. So it's about understanding reality for yourself.
But
Because people do lie.
okay, so the explanation behind suns and stars, though. So is this just like a manufactured light?
No, it's part of nature, in my opinion. So whatever created this place also created the sun, and in my opinion, the sun does have a purpose. Obviously, it gives us life. It lets us, gives us vision. Without the sun, we'll be blind, literally. So there's a purpose to this place. Everything that's in it is a purpose for it. It's not a random.
If you look through a telescope, consider the dark.
Yeah, would you not believe anything that you saw through a telescope?
No, I'll believe what I see, a light. But if you're telling me, oh, that's terra firma that we can land on, that's made up. I don't believe that. But I believe that. Well, I accept that there is a light there.
Okay.
And it actually.
So if you saw different planets like through a telescope, like you would believe that there's something there,
Let me
but you wouldn't believe that.
Let me show you. Let me show you what they actually look like, because they show us a lot of CGI. This is what the stars look like. Literally, they're just twinkling lights. They literally they look like they're rippling in water. So this is what Mars looks like actually, but this is what NASA shows us. They show us a CGI image, but this is what it actually looks like. It's no different than the stars. The planets are just the reason why they're called planets, because that word means wandering stars. So that was an ancient word for them, but they just switched it up now. Now they're claiming they're terra firma, but that's not the case. They're just lights in the sky. I don't know. Whoever created this place put them up there for a reason. In my opinion, we could use them to navigate this place, but to start claiming that there are other Earth-like planets, to me, that's where the religion comes in. You know, you have to believe. Just like religions will claim some. I don't know if they do, but the stars are like falling angels, right? And all this shit. You know, again, anybody claiming to know what the stars actually are is just a religion. Nobody knows. This is what they look like, and that's all we have access to.
So do you think we're the only life like in the universe?
Yes, the Earth is the only universe, in my opinion. What's outside of it? This is the only place of existence that we know. Again, if there is a way to exit the Earth, which I don't think there is, then maybe there is a reality outside of the Earth that created this place. But in my opinion, it's not outer space and vacuums. If anything, it's another reality that we just can't comprehend that created this reality. It's just, I can't even comprehend what that would look like.
For sure.
You know.
So okay, how about this? Let's say the Earth is level. Would you argue that it'd be, rather than it being like a square, would you argue that it'd be almost like a circle, like a level circle? Would you? Because at the end of the day, there is a circular nature to the Earth, right? I can get from here to England. I can get from here to Japan. You know what I mean?
Reason
these
why
are both separate ends.
So the reason why we're able to like have this circle navigation that you're talking about is because we're using the North Pole as a reference point, right? Okay. The North is a reference point.
Yeah.
So on a level Earth, that North would just be a point on the Earth, right? So you say the North is here, right? So if a compass, obviously, if you go east and west, those would just be circles around a center point.
Yeah.
So that's how you circumnavigate a level plane.
Yeah.
You don't have to be on a globe to do that. So again, if the North Pole is here, right, and compasses always point north, you can circumnavigate and go in a circle around the north and still be level. Okay. You don't have to be on a globe.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just saying, I'm taking into account the fact that, it is level. Would you say, like, because, of course, flat earthers, like I said, like, it's just a square.
Sure.
But it's like, at some point, then there is a circular nature to it, right? So it's like, imagine this Earth, this globe, but just squished flat out, just onto a circle. So like I said, there is a circular nature.
So that's called the AE map, the Gleason's map. That's the one that flat earthers use. In my opinion, that map is also bullshit.
Okay.
So that map, nobody knows the layout of the continents, in my opinion, and where they are exactly relative to each other.
Yeah,
so
pretty good.
Yeah. So I don't go with that map because a lot of flat earthers use that map, and it can easily be debunked as well. So a lot of
what's the argument against that map?
Yeah, but that doesn't disprove that the Earth is level. That just disproves that map is wrong.
I want to hear your argument against that map and why you feel like that map is bullshit.
Because there's a lot of observations from Earth of the sun that don't fit that model. Yeah. So that not only that, there's a lot of flight paths, again, wouldn't fit that model 100% accurate. There's a lot of evidence that shows that map is wrong as well. But that doesn't debunk the physics of Earth, the convexity or the lack thereof. The Earth doesn't bend.
For sure, And then our institutions, like for NASA, so all this government funding, all these people who are employed there, so are they just meant to uphold this schema?
I know, I actually have a good friend that works for NASA. He works in satellites supposedly, and he knows what I do. He doesn't really talk to me about it, but even he tells me that when he goes to work, he just goes and sits down in a room all day, watches YouTube, goes home. That's his job. So a lot of the people that are employed by NASA, they just sit in front of the computer and just kill time. Only the people that are very top have to know, like astronauts have to know. They obviously have to know to lie. But everybody underneath, mission control and under, they all just believe what they're being told. And again, they're not gonna bite the hand that feeds them as well. Even if they did, they're not gonna go against it. They're gonna lose their job.
Okay.
So it's a lot of bullshit.
I'm also having trouble understanding like the idea of space being a vacuum, but yet why, like, let's say a free floating object in space isn't getting sucked by it.
Right.
So it's like, let's say something like the International Space Station, right?
Sure.
So like what, like is the International Space Station within this barrier that you're supporting, like that you're proposing, or like where does the International Space Station lie? Do you think that's a hoax? Like there is no International Space Station? Like what?
There is something that they put in the sky, or maybe they track something that's in the sky that does pass above people's heads when you use an app. But to claim that there's astronauts in there and there's actually a space station floating up there, that's a lie. So there is something, obviously, that they either, it could be, I don't know what it is. It could be a drone, a high-altitude drone that they just have circulating above that just shines a light. And when people use the NASA app to track they could see a light and that confirms that. But again, it could be something else. But yeah, people are not floating in a space station in space. That's not happening.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you would say, like, whenever, let's say, it tracks the globe, rather than it circulating the globe, you would just say it kind of just did a circle around
a building or
around
something.
This like North Star.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, so now you brought up a good point of flight paths, right? So you know the flight path from here to, like, let's say Japan, right?
Sure.
Or let's say, you know how it goes around the actual edges of the continents, right, across the water.
Sure.
Wouldn't like your topography of the Earth, like it being level, wouldn't it just move that flight path, or would it still be the same?
It'll still be the same. They show, because again, the globe Earth, the A map, the flat Earth map, it's literally just the globe projection.
Okay.
So any flights that work on the globe will still work on that map.
I thought you just said that there are some flight paths that don't really add up with that map.
Well, they don't add up with either map. That's the thing.
Okay.
That just shows that both maps are wrong, in my opinion.
Well, do you know any flight paths that don't add up with this map?
Well, I don't have a map. That's the thing. I just know that the Earth is level. I want to get people on board so we can actually physically explore this place correctly.
Okay.
Not just be fed and just believe what we're being told. Because that's what's happening. They're telling us, okay, this is North America, this is South America, and this is Europe over here, and we just believe everything that we're told about the layout of the Earth. But in my opinion, it's not even. In my opinion, it could be completely different. The layout, everything, and it's just to throw people off. Again.
Okay.
That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah. Well, either way, bro, you offer a really compelling argument.
Yeah.
I enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah.
I hope to see your research and stuff in the future.
Yeah. The number one proof, again, objects don't accelerate in free fall. That's the number one.
Like I said, I'm not convinced.
No, yeah.
It's going to take a lot more for me to be convinced.
Definitely.
Just because I think it doesn't really make sense to uphold this kind of like schema and structure upon generations, centuries, and millennia. But I do think you offer a compelling argument, and if you find if you are able to do your own research behind it, and you're able to develop a scheme behind academia, which is going to be a lot of barriers behind that, obviously, then we'll see what ends up happening.
No, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, man, good luck to you. It was
Appreciate it,
great
man.
talking to you. Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Of course, take care.
Yeah, you too. All right. Well, if I didn't come out, I wouldn't have got that conversation, right? I would have probably got different ones though, but damn, I'm feeling a little out of it. Crazy. I don't know. Feeling a little lightheaded for some reason. I don't know. Maybe a lot of talking, right? That first conversation that was inside, like they knew where it was going, even though they're kind of like the first ones to figure out where this is going. The fact that there's no acceleration down in free fall, because he even said, well, how would the Earth be moving up in Australia? And that's when I was like, well, the Earth is not a globe. And that's when they just like walked away. Like I didn't even get a chance to give him a flyer and everything. It was pretty funny. You want to give this a shot, or you're good? You want to take a flyer with you? No, you're good? All right. Nat, I just seen your text. Probably. Damn. Nah, the second conversation again with the two gentlemen. Well, it was three because the one he stood at the end here, but the first two as well. Damn, they were invested. Like, whether they're good or bad, whether they're defensive or not, again, you could just tell that they were interested, at the end of the day. Which, again, if you're not interested, then I mean, what's the point of talking to you again if you don't care that you've been lied to your entire life about your literal existence and the place you inhabit, that being the Earth. If you don't care that you've been lied to about the nature of the Earth and the nature of your existence within the Earth, like if you don't care about that, then honestly, I'm wasting my time talking to someone like that at the end of the day, like, what's the point? You know, if you have your mind set up that it doesn't matter or you don't care, right? Fair enough. I mean, that's just your beliefs. That's just your the way, you know, the way you think. And yeah, I'm not gonna break my head or, you know, stress about trying to convince you, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I don't care. If you don't care, I don't care that you don't care. That's simple. Like, you know, there's plenty of people to talk to. There's plenty of people that do care, you know. If you don't care, that just shows, that just tells me that you're just like an NPC. I mean, if you don't care about the nature of the earth and the fact that we've been lied to our entire life, like, if you don't care about that, that just shows that you're kind of just going along to get along. That just shows that you don't think for yourself. That just shows that you're a follower. You know, that just shows that you're an NPC. You've been programmed by government. You know, your thoughts are all conditioned. You know, thinking about real things, aka the fact that there's no gravity in free fall, there's no force in free fall, the fact that the earth is pushing up. Again, I'm not going to convince people right away, but people do have a bias, you know. People do push back. People don't want to, you know, understand for themselves. They'd rather just believe in authority, which is pretty sad, you know, if you think about it. Like, imagine people don't want to understand things for themselves. They just want to believe someone else. Like, oh, I think he's smart, so whatever he says, you know, if he has a good explanation that just sounds good in the ears, then that's what it is. You know, it's like, wow, that's just, like, I mean, that doesn't show how crippled humanity is. Like, it's just crazy. Again, at the end of the day, it's not whether the earth is globe or level. It's not whether the earth is motionless or pushing up. Again, it's about the facts. You know, it's about the truth, literally, you know. Because again, if they could get you to believe and dismiss your common sense and believe something else, then again, that just shows that you're not thinking properly. That just shows that you're not properly grounded, you know. And what's going to happen then? When you don't trust your own common sense, you don't trust your own discernment, you don't trust your reality, you're just going to trust other humans? Why? You think other humans that you don't know of, that don't even know you exist, do you really think they have the best interest for you? Think about it. You really think a complete fucking stranger that doesn't even give a fuck about their own family, right? Or they don't even give a fuck about the people they actually know, right? Do you really think they care about you? I'm talking about your representatives, your governors, your presidents, you know, all these motherfuckers in office, all these politicians, right? People literally think that these people have the best interest for them. When these people don't even give a fuck about their own family, about their own friends, about their own circles. Like, it's bizarre, you know? Again, it's about gaining people's trust through ignorance. Making people ignorant, making people dumb, again, for lack of a better term, at the end of the day, you know? It's about crippling people's minds, because that is our strength as a human, is our mind. Other animals, they have other aspects that make them better, you know? Birds can fly, you know? Animals have claws and fangs, and they're really fast. Some animals can run really fast, some can camouflage, you know? Our trait is the mind. It's having the ability to think outside of the box, right? If they can take that from you, who are you? If they can take your best asset, that being your mind as a human being, then you're nothing. Literally. If you doubt your own mind, if you doubt your own discernment in favor of an explanation from experts, you're completely lost. You know, and I don't like using words like this, but I pray for you, right? I'm not religious, but you know, just like a saying, you know. You know, I hope, you know, instead of saying pray, right? I hope that you one day do get it. One day you do trust your common sense, and one day you do snap out of it, right? I just hope that happens for everyone, because living in ignorance and just doing what you're told is not a life. It's not a life. I can tell you that right now. Working for someone else, working for a pointless system, working for your own demise, that's literally what's happening. We're working for the government. We're funding the government all of this tax money just so they can keep suppressing us. We're literally working for our own demise. You know, And it's like, it's this fucking circle that they have people stuck in. This whole idea of living that we're stuck in, that you have to work and you have to pay taxes. You have to for the necessities, right? If you want the basic necessities, food and shelter, well, guess what? You're going to have to slave away. Not only that, you're going to have to pay good 30-40% of your income to the government. To what? To keep you working, right? It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Like, I cannot, yeah, it's just, I can't even express how crazy and ridiculous it is. Like, you know, it's just, it's frustrating, man. It is frustrating. Ooh. I mean, even that last conversation I had, and it was like another group that was sitting down right there. We're just leaning on the poles there. It was like a good 3-4 of them. I gave them a flyer too, but they were just like sitting in, listening in. Like, I didn't like make eye contact with them or look at them, but I could feel that they were kind of like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, you know, they kind of would laugh when I would say some things, right? When I would say that gravity's not a force, you know. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny, but I mean, they have a flyer and my channel's on there. You know, I'm not hiding from anyone. I'm not hiding from this conversation. I'm actually bringing it to people. I'm doing the opposite of hiding. For people to think that, some people in the comments, oh, you're just ignoring my comments. You're just ignoring, you know, the questions or the points that debunk your theory and all this bullshit, right? Like, no. You're asking stupid questions that don't have anything to do with the fact that you claim a downwards acceleration. Asking about, oh, what's outside of the earth? What's the earth moving through, huh? If you can tell me what the earth is moving through, then that means it's not moving. Like, what the fuck? What kind of logic is that? That's fucking retards right there. Like, if they actually think that, like, no offense, but damn, that's fucking retarded to think that. What's the speed of the earth? What speed is the earth moving, huh? If you can't tell me the speed that the earth is moving, I'm sorry, I'm fucking speeding, then the earth is not moving, right? So I like to use this example to answer that question, right? If you were blindfolded, right, and somebody smacked you across the face, again, it doesn't matter what they smacked you with. They could have used their hand, they could have used an object, right? Anything. If you got smacked in the face, not only do you not need to know what smacked you in the face, to know that something smacked you in the face, that there was a force that's that there was a force that smacked you in the face, right? You don't need to know what that force was, and you don't need to know the speed of the force to know that there was a force present making contact with your face. So again, if I blindfolded you and I smacked you in the face, you know, just smacked you, you don't need to know who or what smacked you or the speed of the smack to know that you were smacked, to know that there was a force present. So all these people asking these fucking stupid ass fucking questions are fucking retards. Like, I don't understand why these questions are even relevant. Like, the reason why people are repeating them just shows that they're fucking morons. And again, I'm not saying this to people directly. I'm just calling out the claims. These questions are fucking retarded. Retards only repeat these questions. Again, if you want to repeat these questions and you want to label yourself or represent yourselves as a retard, then you go ahead. That's you doing it to yourself. I'm not doing it. I'm not calling you a retard. I'm calling these claims retards. And anybody that adopts them and repeats them and regurgitates them without thinking, then you're a fucking retard too, by default. Again, nothing personal. It's just a default position that you're choosing to be in. You don't need to make these claims. But people still do. People still ask these stupid ass questions, you know, about the earth cannot be moving because I don't know the speed the earth is moving. What's it moving through? Where is it going? Fucking morons, man. Like, fuck. Again, it's just there to muddy the waters. In my opinion, a lot of these fucking accounts are sock puppet accounts, or a lot of these accounts are faceless, and that should tell you a lot. You know, again, because these people know they're bullshit. The people that literally just repeat this same stupid ass questions and bullshit ass responses, they're usually the ones that are faceless, and it's because they know they're bullshitting and they don't want to show face. They don't want to be recognized one day, you know, as being a fucking lying piece of shit, right? I'm not saying everybody that asks these questions is dumb, because if you haven't, you know, heard a logical answer to those questions, then I get it. But once you heard an answer, a logical answer for your stupid questions, and you still repeat them, that's your problem at the end of the day. I think I'm talking kind of loud, but it's cool. DK, Beyond Belief, good to see you guys. City. Beyond Belief, they've had the answers a million times and they still lie, slander, and misrepresent. Exactly. Like, they've heard the answers to those stupid questions and they'll still fucking repeat them. Like if they mean something, like if they prove their position. They literally repeat them like if they're proving their position that objects accelerate down in free fall. Well, you don't know what the Earth is moving through, so that means that I go from that to objects accelerate down in free fall. Because you can't tell me what's outside of the Earth. Wow, like just listen to the line of reasoning, the logic that people are using to jump from that to prove their fucking beliefs, to prove their their special pleading claim. It's fucking it's crazy. It's literally crazy. All right, so. Guess I'll just wait around, see if I could get one more. Well, still got like 20 minutes. Electrostatics, man. It's electrostatics. Again, they're claiming electrostatics is like gravity, aka they're claiming electrostatics is a force field. In my opinion, electrostatics is a static field. It's in the name already. Electrostatic field. Just add field in front of that. It's an electrostatic field, if anything. If anything. Could be the reason why matter has inertia. But to claim that this electrostatic field, it's a force field now, crazy. I did the wrong one. This is mind blown now. This is a crazy one. Crazy. Literally. Again, no different than the globe Earth. They also claim there's a force field. But the fact is, there's a static field. That's the field that we live in. There's something giving matter inertia. That has to be some kind of static field. Could it be electrostatics? Could it be the electrostatic field? Could be. I don't see why not. Right? But to claim that that is a force field that defies all the laws of motion, that there is no cause or effects of acceleration in free fall, but still claim that that's the cause, but you can recreate this acceleration in any other vector to demonstrate that that is what's happening, that's crazy. So again, plain reality, William. What is the force that acts on the object to make it instantly lose momentum? Why does an object not sustain its momentum the moment you let it go? Why does it drop instantly? Because the Earth is moving at a high rate of speed. Why? So the faster, the more force you apply on an object, the more resistance there's going to be. That can be demonstrated and recreated. When you apply a force on something and you increase the force, you're going to increase the resistance of the matter resisting that force. So that increase in resistance gives you the increase in deceleration rate. So the reason, it's not a force. Again, your people claim that what's the force that makes objects decelerate? It's not a force. It's a static field, which is resisting the motion. The more motion, the more force you apply, the more resistance there's going to be. The more resistance there's going to be, the faster the deceleration is going to be, because there's more resistance. So the Earth is not moving at 50 miles an hour or 100 miles an hour. It's moving at least 1,000 miles an hour. It could be 2,000. I don't know. All I know is that there is a great resistance in the upwards vector, or in other words, pushing down in the opposite direction. And that's why things lose momentum as fast as they do, because there's a higher resistance in that vector. The more resistance there is, the faster the deceleration is going to be. So the faster something's going to lose momentum, the more resistance there is, and that's because there is more force. Plain reality, but the object is moving at the same speed. There must be something to stop its momentum. I do inertia. I said it. There's a static field that instantly because it's a constant. The static field just doesn't activate when you release it, and there's a delay from when it activates. I think people think that when you're holding an object and you release it, inertia has to activate and now grab it, so it has to stay floating for a second. You know, I've heard that claim before, and it's like, no, there's a resistance while I'm holding it. There's already a pushback. The reason why it has weight is because there's a constant resistance. In other words, the instant I release it, it's instantly. That resistance, that downwards motion, apparent downwards motion, that deceleration is instant because it's a constant. It's always there. It doesn't activate when you release it. It's always there. So there's not gonna be a delay. Like, what the fuck? I don't know why people, again, nothing personal. I'm not saying these, you know, towards you playing reality. You know, I'm just saying in general, I've heard these claims before, you know, and it's just because it's always there. And again, it's the greater the force, the more resistance. The more resistance, the faster the deceleration. The faster it's gonna lose momentum because there's more resistance based on the force, you know. So it's that simple. That's the same kind of question like that PK was asking with the horizontal acceleration. When I release this and I'm moving horizontally, why doesn't it go to the back? Well, because it's decelerating down faster. That's why, because there's a greater force acting on it up. So the resistance down, the opposite direction of that's gonna be way greater than the one horizontally. That's why it doesn't displace towards the back, because again, there's not enough resistance or time to decelerate in that vector horizontally, because there's a upwards vector acting on it. A much greater force creating the greater resistance, creating the faster deceleration in the downwards, apparent downwards vector. You know, that's why. So what you are explaining is no different than normal gravity. Oh my God. Than normal gravity, and the reason why buoyancy is lost. So what you are explaining is no different than normal gravity. It's the opposite. What do you mean it's no different than normal gravity? Are you talking about the normal force that the globe Earth flips and turns to try and fit their model? No, I'm not talking about the normal force in the globe Earth model. I'm talking about the real upwards force. And that's no different. That's not the same as gravity pulling force. It's the literal opposite. I don't know, maybe you want to rephrase that statement or question. So what you are explaining is no different than the normal gravity, and the reason why buoyancy is lost. I don't know what that. Are you talking about like the cause for the deceleration, like decelerating all matter at the same rate? Then yeah, that is the what's happening. To claim that acceleration is happening without displacement, that it's all being accelerated uniformly, that's fantasy. That's not reality. The fact is, objects all decelerate uniformly because the cause of inertia is acts on matter equally. The static field, in my opinion, that we live in affects all matter equally, and that's why we have this deceleration with no displacement, obviously, because it's not a force. You know, it's simply inertia. It's the resistance to the force. You need two factors. You need a force and a resistance to the force, and they're both external to matter. So it's the same thing. Now you're just explaining the same reason for why a bubble doesn't keep rising in water. The water doesn't rise in water because there's no force acting on it. There's no upwards force acting on it anymore, so the object decelerates down. So I don't know what the hell that has to do with the globe Earth gravity explanation. I feel like you're just here trying to muddy the waters, plain reality, in my opinion, because you're not being very clear with what you're stating here. You're actually stating the opposite of what I'm actually presenting, which is kind of telling. You know, it kind of shows your intent there a bit. You know. Again, I don't know. I could be reading your messages wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But what I claim, or what I'm showing, what I'm representing, is not like the pulling force of gravity. It's the literal opposite. So that's that. Whew, man, I gotta take a deep breath. Fuck. I'm talking a lot. I'm fucking losing my breath. Maybe that's why I'm getting a little lightheaded. All of a sudden, they want to claim the upwards vector as the bending of space-time. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what plain reality is trying to say. What you gave is the standard gravity answer. What? I'm saying that the Earth is moving up literally through space. The globe Earth does not claim that. they claim objects in free fall move towards the Earth through space. How the fuck is that the same thing, plain reality? I feel like you're just trolling now. No, sorry, it's the same thing, no different. You're an idiot. You see, now you're just doubling down on your stupid ass comments after I explained it, and you're still repeating the same shit. You're a fucking idiot. That's what you are. Yeah, I'm gonna ignore you now. Unless you have something relevant to say, I'm gonna ignore you now. Gravity is said, level-headed, gravity is said to be a force that is pulling matter down. There is no measurable downwards force. Exactly. How the fuck am I claiming the same thing as gravity? Fucking idiots. It debunks gravity. Exactly. Oh, you're claiming the same thing. Fucking idiot. Trying to muddy the waters. Again, nothing personal in reality. Again, I'm just going based on what you're presenting. I'm attacking the claims, right? No, nothing personal. Again, for people that don't know, obviously this is a level, right? This is, when the air bubble is in the middle, right? We use these to orientate matter, right? To reorientate anything that we want to orientate, right? So the air bubble only shows level when there is a force present, aka when it's connected to the Earth, you know, when it's at rest on Earth. It will show orientation, right? The air bubble will move relative to the orientation, relative to the vertical, right? In free fall, however, I want to see somebody using a level in a zero-G flight. For again, I can't afford it, but I would love to see somebody that does a parabolic flight, again, a zero-G flight with one of these, and try to level it in there for me. You really think they're gonna be able to level this inside a zero-G parabolic flight? No, because gravity is not acting on it. Why? Because gravity is not a force. You require a force, aka a push, and it only works when there's a force acting on it. When it's here on Earth, this device works because it's relative. Level is relative to the vertical force, and if that vertical force existed in free fall, it should still work in free fall, but it doesn't. Why? Because there's no force acting. There's no vertical force in free fall. That's why this doesn't work in free fall. The vertical force is only present when it's here on Earth, the force being up. Because if the force was down, this would work in free fall on its way down. You should still be able to orientate this relative to the downwards force, but you can't because it's not there. It only works here on Earth. Level is relative to the vertical, which is the Earth's motion. It's the Earth's push. Pull does not exist as a force. It's only a description of direction based on our visual interpretation. It's based on the observer. When you move something towards someone, we say, when you move something towards you, we say you pulled it. The mechanism is still push. When you move something away from you, you push it. Because that's the mechanism. Push, applied pressure, something pressing on something else to make it move. Matter cannot move on its own. Therefore, matter cannot reorientate on its own. Because you require motion. You require a force. It's literally that simple, man. And I'm gonna hammer this shit until I fucking die. I mean, I don't know if I'll have the energy when I'm older to do this, especially if it hasn't moved forward like it should. You know, the only thing I could do is represent the facts and hope that people eventually are gonna grasp it and push for it themselves. Because at the end of the day, our time here is very limited. You know, we're not here forever. So I'm just doing what I can while I'm still here, while I still have the energy, while I still have the will to do this. You know? But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to help people. You know, I'm just trying to help people realize the fact that we've been lied to our entire life about life. We've been lied to about our entire life about what life actually is. So I think it's the most important thing to talk about right now. It's the most important thing to debunk or expose, in my opinion. Why? Because if you believe something as simple as this, again, you believe something, contrary, I guess, to what your experience shows you, then you're not equipped with logic, reason, and common sense to look at other topics like Illuminatis and secret societies and skull and bones and all this fucking bullshit that's there to muddy the waters. If you can grasp the fact that the earth is a level plane that's pushing up against you, if you can grasp that or understand that, why the fuck are you jumping ahead into other topics? You're literally trying to run before you learn how to walk. You're going from A to Z by trying to fucking debunk these fucking secret societies, debunk the government, and debunk the Illuminati and all these fucking bullshit, while at the same time you fucking believe that the earth is motionless or that it's a globe. What a fucking joke. What a fucking joke. You trying to be logical and reasonable, while still believing in the fucking globe earth or believing in a stationary flat earth. How ironic. How fucking stupid people fucking are. Trying to fucking jump ahead, ignoring the simple facts that can easily be proven that debunk the globe. But no, let's ignore that. And let's talk about government, how government lies. And then they just expose the Illuminati and the 33 and all this fucking bullshit like fucking idiots. You want to expose the government? Fucking expose the fact that there's no downwards acceleration, because that's where it's fucking coming from the fucking education system, which is fueled by government. You want to fucking expose the government from the core? You do it by exposing the fact that gravity's not a force in free fall. That's how you fucking expose it. You don't fucking jump from A to Z and start talking about secret societies and all this fucking bullshit. Flight paths and seasons and looking at the fucking sun and what it does. That's fucking retarded. You want to debunk the globe? You want to expose government? You do it by exposing the fact that the earth is in upwards motion. You do it by exposing the fact that there is no physical downwards acceleration, that the pulling force of gravity is fucking bullshit. That's how you do it. All these other fucking topics and all these other shit, all these conspiracies are just there to fucking muddy the waters and keep people from that simple fact. It's fucking annoying, it's fucking pathetic, it's fucking stupid, fucking people trying to jump ahead, while they don't fully grasp this simple fact. Again, go ahead and jump ahead. That just shows you don't have any logic, any reason, any fucking discernment. But yeah, you want to go and jump into other topics. Fucking morons. Ah, man.
Need to stretch, man.
Ooh. Stop with the lies. And I didn't even know you folks have issues. James. Or look up the word accelerate. James, what's your definition of acceleration? James, I'm giving you some attention right now. What's your definition of acceleration, James?
They knew exactly who we were when they did us.
Damn, did I lose that paper they gave me? Oh no, look, apparently this is the management inside that I have to ask for permission to be inside. Because I started inside for the people that joined late and they kicked me out. Right? So here it is if you guys want to share your grievances. Nah, that's the email and phone number right there. Apparently I have to ask for permission to talk to people if I want to do it inside, right? That's how you know we live in a free society, is when you have to ask for permission to speak to other humans in a public forum. In an area that's open to the public, to the general public, you have to ask for permission to speak to other humans, to speak to other people, right? That's how you know we're free, That's how you know we live in a free society, Because you have to ask for permission. You're free to ask for permission. You see, in a tyrannical society, you wouldn't even be allowed to ask for permission. So we allow you. Fuck me. You see, we're being cordial. We're being reasonable. We're allowing you to ask for permission, right? That's how you know we're in a free society, right? Just like you have the option to choose whether you want to go Republican or Democrat. You're free to choose whether you want to be a Republican or Democrat, right? You do have freedoms, right? Damn, it's fucking bizarre. Wait, did James? Flat Earth has gotten too popular, eh? James, are you a globe Earth believer or a flat earther? I'm curious. So a dropped apple is traveling at what speed? Oh my god. A dropped apple is losing momentum. And all we can deduce from that is that how much momentum it loses per second. That being 9.8 meters per second. So it loses momentum at 9.8 meters per second. We don't know the speed of the Earth, therefore we don't know the speed of the apple as it loses momentum. It's an irrelevant question. I answered this question already. But the same speed in the first and second or 30th... What? The same speed in the first second and 30th second? That's a constant. Here's another thing. When an object is at rest and it starts to move, it has to accelerate to move from being at rest. So when you're holding an object at rest and you release it into free fall, by default it's an acceleration from a visual perspective. Again, it's either a deceleration or acceleration if you believe in the globe Earth or a stationary flat Earth. It's one of the two. There's a change in velocity, yes, that we witness in free fall. Yes, we witness a change in velocity that increases per second between the free falling object and the Earth, right? So how do you conclude that it's the object that accelerated down? Because you would get the exact same visual results and predictions if it was losing momentum from the constant. The increase in speed between the Earth and the free falling object will also increase. But not because it's accelerating down, but because it's decelerating. All tests show there is no physical downwards acceleration, and all tests show that the force is up. So I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. You know? It's that simple. And that's why they need to bamboozle people. That's why they need to bombard people with these fucking characters like Einstein and all and Newton and all these fucking... You're not? I think you are. Somebody was in a red light, so I just gave him a flyer. Oh, they're gonna be surprised. Dell, why does an apple accelerate instead of fall at a constant rate? Yeah. James, the apple doesn't accelerate down. Put an accelerometer on that apple and release it, and show me how much acceleration it has. Shouldn't everything with air as its medium? Oh fuck. I need one. Alright, I'm gonna answer some questions and then see if anybody comes up. So I'm just gonna wait like 5 and 10 more minutes. So let's see if there's anything. Oh shit! What's up, Del? Good to see you. James. Everyone got really silent except for the gaslighter. I can easily answer. I'm not. What a cop out. James? I don't know if you're... Let me see. Why would the apple fall at a constant rate when it's being decided? It falls at a constant rate when it reaches terminal velocity. But again, I don't know what... What the fuck? Damn, James. You're doing this to yourself. Oh man. Oh my god. Exactly, huh, James? How can we answer a misunderstanding, right? If you're misunderstanding it, how can we answer that for you, right? It's a personal issue right there. Oh my god. Beyond belief, James doesn't answer questions about why they display bad faith here and misrepresent the position being discussed here. Exactly. Same thing what plain reality was doing as well. And James, again, I could be wrong. Maybe they are genuine, right? And maybe they just don't get it, right? And maybe their questions are genuine, right? Or coming from a genuine place, right? But when I answer them and explain logically how they're irrelevant, and you still come at me with the same question, I mean, what am I supposed to think? I mean, you're obviously not in good faith, you know? You're not asking these questions in good faith, obviously. It's like you're just trying to like get a gotcha moment type of thing. Like, again, there's a lot of questions that we can't answer. What's the force that's pushing the earth up? That's another one, right? What is that force that's pushing it? We don't need to know the force that's pushing it. We can measure it. We can detect that there's a force present when connected to the earth, and not in free fall, which there should be if there is a downwards force field, right? It's not there. Sorry. I hate to be the one to break it to you guys, but the globe earth doesn't exist because there is no physical downwards acceleration to back up that belief. You know? I didn't make the rules. I didn't create this place. I can only represent them, you know? And again, I don't have a bias. That's why I'm able to talk about this so comfortably, because I don't give a fuck what the earth actually is. I actually don't give a fuck what it is. It could be a triangle for all I care. What I do care is the truth. You know, again, because it's not about the shape of the earth. If they could get you to dismiss your reality, your common sense, you're gonna be easily controlled. That's what I care about. I want to empower people. I want people to think for themselves. You know, I don't want to live in a world where a bunch of people, a bunch of followers could just turn on you because of their feelings, right? I want to live in a world where people are properly grounded and we can actually help each other and move forward and make life better for everyone. That's what I fucking want. But you can't have that if people are just fucking blind sheep followers. If people don't think for themselves and commit to their own discernment, their own common sense, and understand reality for themselves, then we can never have that. We can never have that kind of society where people are actually grounded and actually help each other and actually move forward and actually make life better for everyone. That kind of life cannot exist when people just believe in bullshit fairy tale stories about their existence. It just doesn't work. So if people are trying to make society better, trying to make life better, trying to fix the world, but they still fucking believe in a globe earth or stationary flat earth, you're a fucking retard. You're going from A to Z. You gotta take the steps. You gotta comprehend. You know, that's where the grammar, logic, rhetoric, that's where the trivium comes in. Cause and effect. Understand cause and effect. Understand this happens because of this. And this happened because of this. That's how technology advances. That's how we're able to create machines, engines. Because we understand basic principles. We understand cause and effect of matter. And it cannot be broken. That's physics. That's reality. It's not imagination. It's not fucking a simulation that people like to fucking claim. It's not that. Reality literally shows that that's impossible. There's mechanical functions about this place that cannot be broken. It's physics. It's reality. You know? Alright, I think I got a good enough conversation there at the end. I don't know if I'm gonna upload that first one. The first one was a little bit cringe, in my opinion. I mean, it's cool to highlight how people have their preconceived beliefs and they'll just run away. Like, it really highlights that how he just ran away right when it got to the point where the earth cannot be a globe. And he came to, I didn't even ask him that. He's the one that realized, wait, well, that means the earth will have to be expanding. Or how does the earth move up this way and down in Australia? It's like, again, people get it. People get that on a globe earth, the upwards motion of the earth cannot exist. If there's an upwards motion of the earth, it cannot exist from a globe earth model. Even globe earthers recognize that without me even having to tell them. But what happened once he realized that it was getting too real? He just walked away. Both him and his girlfriend just laughed and walked away. They were not, he was not man enough to stay and have the conversation with me. Again, the security was right there too, making it awkward, but tell me, that shit was fucking awkward, by the way. I was still talking. I was trying to ignore him, but the security guy was just standing right there waiting to be finished, right? It was fucking funny, man. I guess they didn't interrupt, you know. Again, they were kind of nice in that aspect where they didn't interrupt the conversation, right? But just standing there, like, made it fucking awkward, that's for sure. That was funny. Oh, man. acceleration versus constant speed, which is happening when you're falling, is a deceleration, which you can interpret as acceleration. It's acceleration, but it's actually deceleration. There's an increase in speed that happens between the free-falling object and the Earth because the difference in speed between the free-falling and the Earth is increasing. So you could interpret that as an acceleration. But in reality, it's losing momentum. So if something's losing momentum, we say that that's decelerating. And that's what's happening in free fall. It's not physically accelerating down towards the Earth, it's just losing momentum. And the acceleration that we witness is the increase in speed relative from the free-falling object and the Earth. The more the free-falling object loses momentum, the greater the speed difference from the Earth and the free-falling object is going to be. So that's why there's a higher impact the higher you drop an object, because it has more time to decelerate. Again, it's not a physical acceleration down. It's literally that simple. But, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I didn't really have enough time to go through the comments. I mean, at least I was able to answer James and Plain Reality's questions to the. Again, I'm not saying this like in bad faith or talk shit, but you guys were kind of trolling the comments a bit, so I'm glad I got to answer at least some of your questions. But because of that, I didn't really get to see if there was any other questions. But again, if you have a question, a relevant question you think, or something you wanted to share, you can leave it in the comments after the video. Again, a lot of my comments get removed, so you might be able to see it on your end. But if you log in YouTube with a different account, or when you sign out, and if your comment is not visible, then nobody could see it. Because a lot of times when you leave a comment, you're able to see it yourself that you left a comment, but nobody else can see it. And that's how they ghost a lot of comments on my videos. So if you leave a question and I don't answer it, it's because I can't see it. You know, if you want to make sure that you can see your comments, is leave your comment on the video, then log out of YouTube or use a different account and go to the video and see if your comment is there. Again, if your comment is not there, even when you switch from top comments to newest comments, that means nobody is able to see your comment, not even me, and I won't be able to answer your questions. So just a heads up for anybody that has any questions. Yeah, again, you can leave them in the comments, but just be aware that comments do get ghosted. And yeah, I mean, it's part of the censoring at the end of the day. Not only do comments get ghosted, my views get ghosted as well. My likes on my videos get ghosted, they get removed, you know. So it's funny because I started doing this almost 3 years ago, going on 3 years now, and my views have gotten down. How does that make sense, right? You know, my views went down, but my subs went up a little bit, like, you know, weird, right? But yeah, just to show, you know, just a heads up for anybody that's new to this. You know, my channel is heavily censored, you know, for obvious reasons, obviously. But yeah, don't be swayed by the numbers. You know, go with the content, go with the logic, go with the line of reasoning that's being presented. You know, that's what's going to show you the truth. You know, understand reality for yourself. Again, discern for yourself. At the end of the day, that's what's going to show you the truth. All right. Well, thanks again, everyone that showed up. We'll see when I do the next live. It might be at home. I might do an open panel. But we'll see. Again, thanks again. And we'll see. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.